Orhan, having won the Nobel Prize in Literature in 2006, you published the Museum of Innocence. Can you talk to us about the idea of a museum for the person, not the power?
I love small museums where the individuality of one single person lends meaning to the collection. I think now museum curators should behave like novelists who explore the individuality of the persons rather than the history of the state and the nation. Museums such as Louvre, or say Metropolitan or British Museum that represent a whole nation is problematical. I think we have to have small museums that will highlight the individuality of people rather than the state, big powers, big institutes. Sources, especially in Asia, in China, and also in developing countries, lots of government money, money of the big institutions go to making of big museums that crush the cities, that crush the individuality of single persons. I argue that sources, money in non-European countries should go to small museums where the individuality of the persons, normal citizens, will be explored and exhibited. The Museum of Innocence is a novel I published in 2008. It's a novel about love, an upper-class man's infatuation with his twice-removed cousin who comes from the poor branch of the family. The story chronicles what happens to us when we fall in love. Our hero, Kemal, begins to collect everything his beloved touches. Later, everything that is related to his love story. In fact, in the novel, it is explained why he is making a museum. Both the novel and the museum address the same story with different approaches. It is an attempt to understand all the things we do: jealousy, anger, imaginary conversation with the beloved, waiting, negotiating, and we do it in the same thing all over the world in separate, different cultures. The museum tells this story through objects chronicling the life of the people of Istanbul between 1950 and 2000. Your life is interesting. Your individuality, the way you use these telephones, the way you picked up these movie tickets, you are as important as the nation, as the big state, as the history of the nation and the state. This is what my museum intends to tell to the modest person who comes to see the objects in the museum. Museums should teach the nations, peoples, the government, the state, politicians, everyone, how to respect the rights of the individuals. That you can do when you highlight the individuality of the persons with their small stories and small museums.